Good morning, everyone. Uh, in yesterday's class, we were discussing about different types of actuating systems. So, we already discussed about a pneumatic system. In today's class, we are going to discuss about hydraulic actuation system. I already gave a brief idea about this type of actuating hydraulic actuation system. So, in hydraulic actuation system, these are the systems which are power transmitting assemblies employed using pressurized liquid as a fluid for transmitting energy from. Hello, I think somebody's mic is on. Please turn it off. Okay. So, hydraulic systems are power transmission assemblies employed using a pressurized liquid as a fluid. Okay. So this is used for transmitting energy from one point to another point and for accomplishing the useful work. Okay, with the help of pressurized liquid. Either we can take water or some type of oil as working fluid here. Okay, so in pneumatic system, compressed air was the working fluid, and in case of hydraulic system, we are only concerned about liquids. Generally specialized liquid. Okay, so yesterday we already gave a brief idea about the block diagram of a general hydraulic system. It consists of an oil tank. It consists of an oil tank, then a filter which is driven uh, the fluid is driven with the help of a pump, and the pump was driven with the help of a motor. uh, this was the basic diagram for a hydraulic system. With the help of directional control valves, we are actually uh, controlling the movement of the actuator. Okay, so actuator is the main equipment or device we are focusing here. But to operate a certain type of actuator, we need some system. So that system or a mechanism, we are concerned about only two types here, that is pneumatic and hydraulic. So we are concerned about hydraulic. Okay, so in hydraulic system, I already explained these working principle in yesterday's class. So we can discuss about the components. The hydraulic actuator is a device used to convert the fluid power into mechanical power to do useful work. We already said that actuators are devices which convert some type of power into another power. Okay, or it is used to give a motion. So there are two types according to the output motion. The actuators are classified into two types, that is linear and a rotary type. So you have to listen here. The linear type, we generally call it as cylinders. If it is working, the actuator is working with the help of hydraulic system, then it is called hydraulic cylinder. Okay, the linear actuator means it is generally called as cylinders. Okay, and if it is working, if the actuator is working with the help of liquid or pressurized liquid, then it is called a hydraulic. Okay, so hydraulic cylinder means it is an actuator working with the hydraulic system and giving an output linear motion. Okay, and there is another type of actuator also, rotary type actuator. uh, it is called a hydraulic motor. Why it is called hydraulic motor? Because the hydraulic uh, word comes from the fluid system, and the motor comes from it gives a rotary motion as output. Okay, so the rotary type hydraulic actuator is known as hydraulic motors. You have to understand the difference. Sometimes in question paper you will only uh, given what is hydraulic cylinder or just what is a hydraulic motor. Then you have to identify it is nothing but it is a actuator working with the hydraulic system and giving linear output. Okay, that is your duty to identify what they are asking. Okay, so moving on to next part, the hydraulic pump is used to force the fluid from reservoir to rest of the hydraulic circuit by converting mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. So we are talking about this part, that is pump. Okay. So next part is valve, and they are used to control the direction, pressure, and flow rate of a fluid flowing through the circuit. So we are discussing about the valve that is pictured here. So they are actually controlling the direction, pressure, and flow rate of fluid. Here the fluid is liquid. Okay. So next part is external power supply. That is for driving the pump, we require an external power supply. With the help of that power supply and motor, the pump is actually driven. Okay, these are all the components of a hydraulic system. Okay, you must understand what are its role. Okay, so moving on to the next component, it is external power supply. No, I mean it is a reservoir. Reservoir is used to hold hydraulic liquid, usually hydraulic oil. If you are using a hydraulic oil, then the reservoir consists of a hydraulic oil. Okay. So in case of a pneumatic system, you already know about the reservoir. In case of most of the hydraulic system, the directional control valve will act as a reservoir. Okay. So next is a piping system which carries hydraulic oil from one place to another place, and filters. Filters are used to remove any unwanted particles from the fluid. Okay. And next is pressure regulator, which regulates the pressure required for working. Okay. So this is the basic components and working of a hydraulic actuator system. You can see that this actuator gives an output linear motion. Okay. So this actuator, linear actuators are generally called as cylinders. Okay. So with the help of hydraulic system, it is working. So this actuator is known as hydraulic cylinders. Okay. Okay. Then now we can compare about a hydraulic system and a pneumatic system. For getting a clear idea, we have to compare these two things. So hydraulic system, first comparison is based on the uh, working substance. That is, it employs a pressurized fluid as a pressurized liquid as a fluid. Okay, working fluid. Okay. In hydraulic system, we are using pressurized liquid. And in case of pneumatic system, a compressed gas. Usually, we take air as the working substance. Okay. So the second comparison is an oil hydraulic system operates at a pressure up to 700 bars. That is, hydraulic system usually work at a higher pressure. And in case of pneumatic system, usually it operate at a 5 to 10 bars. So in case of pneumatic system, it works at a very low pressure. Okay. So this is the second comparison, and in case of third comparison, generally designed as a closed system. So you can see here that there is no relation, or the fluid is not leaving the system. The fluid, working fluid, that is oil or liquid, is completely inside the system every time. So this is a closed type of system. We are not talking about closed control loop. Here we are talking just about a system, that is closed system. The substance is not leaving the system. Okay. I think it is clear. Then in case of pneumatic, usually designed as an open system. Why? Because in pneumatic system, the working substance, that is air, which is taken from the atmosphere at the inlet filter, and after use, it might be released to the atmosphere itself. So there is no recirculating type means working substance is used. So it is called a open system. Okay. So next is the system slows down with a leakage occurs. That is, in case of hydraulic system, if liquid is leaking at some point, it will slow down the system. That is, the pressure will drop. Then we will not get a required result at the output section. Okay. And in case of pneumatic system, if leakage is there, it will not affect much. Okay. So next is valve operations are difficult in case of hydraulic system. Why? Because hydraulic fluids will be at a higher pressure. So the valve operations are very difficult there. Okay. And in case of pneumatic system, the pressure of the working fluid is comparatively low. So the valve operations are comparatively easy. Okay. For when we compare the weight, the hydraulic system is heavier in weight, and when if we compare it with the pneumatic system, the weight is very less. Okay, so in hydraulic system, pump are used to provide pressurized liquids, and in case of pneumatic system, instead of pump, we are using compressor. Okay. Next comparison is the system is unsafe to fire hazards and the system is free from fire hazard. Why? Because some of most of the working fluid in hydraulic system, that is oil. Oil sometimes it will be volatile. It there is a chance for getting fire burned. Okay. So in case of hydraulic system, the system is unsafe to fire hazard. There is chance for blasting. Okay. So in case of pneumatic system, there is no chance for hydraulic means fire hazards. Okay. And last comparison or difference is the automatic lubrication is provided with the help of liquids. Liquids has its own property to lubricate its path. So automatic lubrication is done inside the hydraulic system. But in case of pneumatic system, special arrangements for lubrications are needed. Okay, the air will not lubricate the system. Okay, that is the basic difference between a hydraulic system and the pneumatic system. So these are the basic idea or difference you must understand in this section. Okay, so general features of hydraulic and pneumatic actuators are: hydraulic actuators convert the pressure energy of fluid into mechanical output to perform useful work. Now we are concerning or concerned about the actuators only. We are not discussing about system. We are only focused on actuators only. Okay, the system is over. Now we are focused on hydraulic actuator and pneumatic actuator. Only the end part. Okay, this device only. Okay, this device only. So when we speak about hydraulic actuators and pneumatic actuators, hydraulic actuator convert pressure energy of the fluid into mechanical output to perform useful work. You can see here that pressurized fluid will enter into one section of the actuator by expanding the fluid at this point, the movement of actuator piston is taking place. So actually, when we focus on this device, the actuator part only, you can see that the pressurized fluid energy is converting into mechanical energy. Okay. And in case of pneumatic system also, pressurized or compressed air is its expansion is converted into mechanical output. Okay. So this is the basic feature of a hydraulic actuator and a pneumatic actuator. So the fluid power is transmitted through either linear or rotary motion. We are only discussed about linear actuators only. So there is one more type actuator called rotary actuators. Okay, we will discuss it soon. Okay. So in case of linear motor, linear motion, I already told that linear motion is obtained by using linear actuators. Linear actuators is called hydraulic cylinders. Okay, why hydraulic? Because we are talking about hydraulic system operated actuators. So it is called hydraulic. And why cylinders? Because its output is linear. Okay. And in case if it is a hydraulic rotary motion or hydraulic rotary actuators, it is called hydraulic motors. You have to understand hydraulic cylinders and hydraulic linear actuators are same, and hydraulic motors and hydraulic rotary actuators are same. Two different names. Okay. Okay, then rotary actuators are hydraulic and pneumatic equivalent of the electric motor. We can generally classify the hydraulic and pneumatic actuators as an electric motor. What happening in electric motor is when electric energy is given into electric motor, it will produce a rotary motion. And what happens here in case of pneumatic and hydraulic actuator is instead of electric energy, in case of hydraulic actuator, hydraulic energy is given as input and a rotary motion is taking as output. So, hydraulic motor is an is an equivalent to electric motor. Similarly, a pneumatic actuator is also an equivalent to the electric motor. Why? Because it is giving compressed air as input and giving rotary motion as the output. Okay, I think you can understand what I mentioned here. So moving on to next point, the hydraulic is meant for water or oil, and pneumatic is meant for air or gas. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about linear actuators. I already told linear actuators are generally called cylinders. And there are two types of cylinders, that is two types of linear actuators, that is hydraulic one and pneumatic one. Okay. So linear actuators are common to both hydraulic and pneumatics. Okay. Linear actuators are common to both hydraulic and pneumatics. We can see linear actuators operated by both hydraulic and pneumatic systems. Okay. So if the linear actuators are used for hydraulic system, then they are called hydraulic cylinders. And if the linear actuators are used for pneumatic system, then they are called pneumatic cylinders. I already explained it. Okay. So there are two types of hydraulic and pneumatic actuators. Hydraulic and pneumatic actuators. Okay. Single acting type and a double acting type. I am discussing about linear actuators, that is cylinders. So the linear output motion from the actuator is used for this classification, that is single acting cylinder and double acting cylinder type actuators are there. Okay, you have to remember there are two types of linear actuators, that is single acting cylinder and a double acting cylinder. As the name indicate, it is very simple to understand what are the types. Okay, so first you are supposed to know about single acting hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders. Okay, the simplest type of linear actuators is the single acting hydraulic or pneumatic cylinder. Okay, this is the simplest type of linear actuator, that is single acting. Okay, in this device, the pressurized fluid is admitted through only one side. That is, I will explain with the figure. You can see this is the single acting type of pneumatic or hydraulic actuator. Okay, you can see that uh, pressurized fluid, that is oil from the pump, is entering only through the one side of this cylinder or barrel. Okay, then with the pressure, due to the pressure exerted by this fluid into this piston, the rod is actually moving. Extension and the retraction of this entire rod is happening. So you can see that only from one side the pressurized fluid is coming. So this type of actuator is called single cylinder. Okay, single acting actuator. Here it is hydraulic system driving. So it is called a single acting hydraulic cylinder. Okay. So you have to identify how it is represented in symbol. Okay, why? Because your last session of this module contains this idea. That is, you have to see how it is represented, or you have to make a system with a symbolic representation. Okay, so simply you can see that this is your cylinder, and this is the piston, and this is the output shaft or rod, and you can see that from only one point into the cylinder, the fluid or the working substance is entering. So this is symbolic representation of single acting cylinders. Okay. So in this type of cylinders, that is single acting cylinders, this cylinder will produce work in only one direction. That is, when fluid enters into the cylinder, you will get only the one direction motion. The returning of this motion, the return stroke is actuated by a spring or gravity. Actually, only one direction motion is given with the power from the working substance. Actually, here, check my mouse pointer. So you can see here there will be a spring. So when fluid enters through this point, the spring will get the fluid will push the piston towards the right and there will be a spring connected here. So the spring will get compressed. Okay. So the return motion will be automatic. I think it is clear to you. So in a single acting cylinders, piston do not retract, but it is accomplished by using gravity force or using compression spring as shown in the figure. Okay, this is the actual representation of a single acting cylinder. Okay. So now moving on to double acting hydraulic or a pneumatic cylinders. In this double acting cylinders, the pressurized liquid is admitted in both sides of the piston alternatively. That is, in case of a double acting cylinder, you can see inside the cylinder itself there is two way or two port for inlet and outlet of uh, for entering and leaving the working substance. There is two port. So by controlling the working fluid, we will get two directional motion from this type of actuators. You can see work is performed during forward motion as well as backward motion of the piston. So to prevent leakage, seals are provided in 5 locations. So in order to prevent the leakage from this type of cylinder, seals are provided at different locations. Okay. The following are the important components of a double acting cylinder. You can see the important component of a double acting cylinder is a piston, a rod, then a piston seal, then a return flow valve or port, and a pump flow port. Okay, these are the important parts of a piston, double acting cylinder. Okay, so getting into detail, you have to identify these parts also. That is, this is also a detailed diagram of a double acting cylinder. You can see this concept will I can explain with the upcoming topics. You will not get a clear idea when I discuss it right now. Okay, so when you are you can just identify these are the parts of a double acting cylinder. That is port, two port are there for a double acting cylinder. There will be two port, and then seals will be there. Okay, then a rod, then a piston, a barrel, a base cap or end cap, a bearing cap, a bearing. These are all the components of a double acting cylinder. We will get some detailed information in the upcoming section. Okay. So the parts of a double acting cylinder are discussed here. There are two end cover plates. That is, you can see here, there are two end cover plates. This is one end cover plate and this is another end cover plate. Okay, with the port connections. You can see at this end cover plate, a port connection, and at this end cover plate, you can see another port connection. So, in a double acting cylinder, hydraulic cylinder or pneumatic cylinder, the end cover plates contains the port. Okay, you have to identify that, or you have to know that the ports are actually given at the base cap or just cover plates. Okay, so two end cover plates are there. One is called a base cap. This side is called a base cap and the other side is called a bearing cap. These are just the name given for end cover plates. Okay. And cylinder barrel, which is made up of stainless steel, aluminum or brass, and can be used for barrel. Actually, this material is a cylinder. This is a cross-sectional view. So this is nothing but a cylinder. Okay. So this cylinder is made up of either stainless steel, aluminum or a brass. Okay. That is the information about the barrel. Okay. Then when we move on to piston, generally it is made of cast iron or steel. Okay. Generally this piston will be made of cast iron or steel. So next is piston rod. Piston rod are made up of heat treated chromium alloy steel. Okay. These are the basic information that I'm giving you to understand how a double acting cylinder is made of. You can use the same information in case of a single acting cylinder also. There will be very few difference. Okay, you already know what are the difference between single acting and double acting hydraulic or pneumatic cylinders. The major difference is nothing but port. Okay, number of port. Only one port will be there in single acting cylinder and two ports are in double acting cylinder. Okay, and one more major difference is we will get a useful work in both direction in case of double acting cylinders, and in case of single acting cylinder we will get useful work in only one direction. So I think it is clear to you. This is another type of double acting cylinder with a piston rod on both the sides. This is also similar to that of double acting cylinder. You can see when there are two ports and one piston, you can see also seals here. But only difference is there are two rods. Two rods are connected at both the ends. Both these are same thing, but for a certain application, the double rod type of double acting cylinder will be used. Okay. So I think you already understand how it works. I can simply explain with the help of a pressurized liquid. That is, I am explaining with the help of a hydraulic driven actuator or a cylinder. Okay. So when a pressurized liquid enters through this port, the piston will move in left direction. Okay, this direction. Why? Because the pressurized fluid will expand from this area or this volume. Okay, then the expansion of that fluid will exert a pressure on the piston rod and it will move towards the left. Okay, when the pressure reaches a normal value, it will stop expanding, and with the help of control valve, it will change the direction of the working fluid. Okay, then After that, the fluid will enter through the left port. Then we already discussed that here that you can change the flow direction in forward direction, return direction, or off direction. If it was in the forward direction, the piston will move in one direction, and if it was in a return direction, the piston will move in another direction. Okay. Actually, I explained the working of a hydraulic system with the help of double acting actuator. Okay, double acting cylinders. Okay, you can see here that there are two ports in this cylinder. Okay, so actually this is nothing but a double acting cylinder. Okay, I think it is clear to you. So this was the second type of cylinder that we are going to discuss here. So next topic is cylinder cushions. You may be familiar with what cushions are. Actually, you are using cushions in sofas in your home. Why? Because for providing a comfort to your muscles. Okay. So here also cylinders are provided with cushions. What might be the chance for using this type cushions in the cylinders? Why? Because the movement of the piston will be in, for example, if you take a hydraulic system, 700 bar of pressure will be acting at one side of this piston. It will be comparatively a high value of force, or a higher magnitude of force will be acting on the piston. There might be a chance for the piston to hit at the cylinder end or end caps. Okay, so if this piston hits the end cap with a higher force, there is a chance for the breakage of the cylinders. Okay, or the entire system. So in order to comfort, or in order to make safe for this piston, we are using cushions. Okay, so I think you got the basic idea of what the cylinder cushions are, and the end caps are made up of cast iron or aluminum and have inlet and outlet ports. So these are the components of a double acting hydraulic cylinder. The end caps are made up of cast iron or aluminum and have inlet and outlet ports. We already discussed this point before. And these caps entries are threaded so that it can be locked or opened. It is not much important. So this is the important point. End cap should be designed to withstand the impact load due to the fluid pressure and kinetic energy of the moving parts. This is why, because of this point, we are using the cushion cylinder. Why? Because the end cap should be designed to withstand the impact load, that is instantaneous load of high magnitude. Okay, so impact load due to high pressure and kinetic energy of moving parts, that is piston. So due to the higher fluid pressure value and the higher magnitude of kinetic energy of the moving parts, we have to comfort the end cap. Okay, that is why we are using the cushion cylinders. I think it is clear to you. So these shock loads developed at the extreme ends of the piston travels. So these shock loads at the end of the travel can be minimized by cushion values built into the end cap. We are actually placing cushions to comfort the end caps, or both the piston and the end cap. Okay, I think it is clear to you. We can wind up our session right now. Okay.